What's up, guys? Got a Dingy here, and today I'm going to take a look at the K91. Now in this battle I'm platooned with Lone Killer in his 140 and AWOW in his 62A. Excuse me if I mess the gamer tag up, it's spelled kind of goofy. But as far as the K91 goes, it was my most anticipated tank from the 4.7 update. Mainly because of the reload that it got on PC, which was one of its signature features for their update. Along with the 1700 meters per second for its standard shells, which are APCR. Now, when it came out on console, it actually got a really bad DPM of just under 2500. Which is abysmal, to say the least. And because of the bad DPM, it very quickly went from being my most favorite tank from the update to my least favorite tank of the update, surpassing that of the 705A, which loves to low roll its alpha damage. Now, we went to the south to support this light tank. So far he's not really spotting anything, so I'm taking a shot at this 54. Damaged his tracks, he repaired it. And here you can see the .33 accuracy kind of messing with me a little bit. I got a shot on the pattern, aim at the upper plate. Looks like I hit the bottom of the turret, and he goes back outside of my radio range. Now the beginning of this match is going to be a little bit boring at this part. We are talking in party chat. Trying to figure out what we want to do. I'm here with Lone Killer, and AWOW is off on the other side of the map over in F8. Looks like he's up on top shooting down at those heavies. And the light tank looks like he's going to go back out to spot again, so we're getting ready to shoot at whatever he spots. Now, if Wargaming ever takes a second look at this tank and actually buffs the DPM to right around where the 140 and 62A are, this would definitely be a tank that I would play on a regular basis. But as you can see, you're just sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting for that reload, and all you're doing between or for your shot is 320 alpha. Which makes it a little difficult to brawl with this, because you do get yellowed, at least me personally, when you're in this tank. Now me and Lone decide we want to change locations. We're not really getting too many shots from there. It looks like this Action 10 is out in the open, so we're going to punish him just a little bit. Nice roll for the 371. But as soon as I fire, I get lit by I assume the Patton, who takes a shot at me and misses. So we're just keeping an eye out, trying not to get lit. Put one into the underplate of the E100. Look for a shot at the tracks, but there's not quite enough there for me to feel confident in shooting. So we just wait, hold our shot. And I'm going to reverse up the hill. That way if I do get lit, I can back down a little bit quicker. It has been a while since I've played this battle, so I don't know exactly what we were talking about, but I do believe we're about to push in. Yeah, there goes Lone. He's getting ready to move in. And I think a WZ will come around here pretty shortly. Oh, there he is. So I don't have the gun depression because of the way I'm sitting on the hill. So I readjust, and as soon as I fire, I'll get lit, so I go back down into cover, and he gets taken out, so I look over at the Patton. Lone is just now starting to go in for him, which I just now realized when he takes a hit. So I go over to support him, and so far it's just been the Patton that's been over there. So we feel pretty confident in pushing him. Looks like we've got a heavy coming with us. But as soon as he pops that hill, he gets hit by the 257. I try and put one into the upper plate, but it just hits the tracks. I did not get lit because of my decent camo rating of 26%. Now he is getting 2v1'd right now, so I have to do something. So I fire on the move, while I go over to the Patton to get some pressure off of him. The 257 looks like he was looking at me, but down goes Lone from the Patton, leaving me in the same 2v1 that Lone was in, with the light tank coming up for support. So I'm just going to stay on this ridge right here and hopefully try and stay hull down, use some gun depression or something. I'm going to poke the corner to put one into the Patton. Don't really have one because those other two heavies got lit up as soon as I turned the corner. So I put one in a 34. 57 looks like he is now going for me because he already killed the light tank. And now I am going to get rushed by the Patton and the 257. So I'm just backing up, keeping my front armor towards them. Now this does have half a mile of hull before you actually have the gun. So the 9 degrees of gun depression is not as useful as it may sound. Now I'm getting YOLO'd by the Conqueror, so I go ahead and get behind him and try and take him out as quickly as possible. Fortunately, I get a fire on him, allowing me to focus on the 257. He does not seem to be playing too well right now, so that tells me he's somewhat inexperienced. He runs into the Patton. I'm going to use that to my advantage by going around the Patton, who just barely squeezes off a shot to the back of my hull. Followed up by a shot from the 257, leaving me at 43 hit points already. But I take out the 257, and all I have to do now is wait for some backup to help. Looks like AWOW is coming. So I just have to keep this rock between me and him. Wait for him to make a mistake so I can put some damage into him. So all we're doing here is we're just keeping him on the opposite side. If he pushes forward, I move forward, that kind of thing. Now at this angle, I'm hoping that Artie doesn't hit me. I did not realize the TD was chasing him down at this point. I was pretty focused on the Patton. He takes a couple hits. Looks like Artie just fired at him too. So he's down to a one shot for me. He fires into the rock, allowing me to back up, put the shot in, and get the kill, leaving us at a 12-10 lead. Now I'm wiggling a little bit because of the the excitement that was going through my head from winning that little brawl right there, and because the Artie was still in play. And again, I didn't realize he was being chased down. The 32 gets lit. I try and put a shot into him, but my timing was a little bit late to put one into the side of the turret, and I did get lit when I fired. So I'm just going to back up to the bush here, lose my detection, wait for a shot. He backs up though, so I don't really have one. But the Artie takes him out anyways, allowing me to hunt down this last heavy tank. Now, since my team's pretty much in the north, most likely he's over by our base. So I'm going to go ahead and head over there. And AWOW is now en route to meet up with me. It is the E100 that's left. I have no idea how many hit points he is. Already looks like he is getting ready to shoot the base. Oh, there he is. I'm just watching him to see where he goes. Using this ridge if I have to. He goes away, so I am going to go in here in a second. I'm waiting for AWOW to cross that little riverbed to get a better position. So I'm going to push forward into this rock. I want to go on top since there's rocks on both sides. But before I get there, that E100 turns the corner on the right to spot me. And I quickly dodge, probably just narrowly missing the kill shot from the E100. So now I'm just going to be on top of the ridge. He can't hit me from up here, but I can keep him spotted. Looks like he is distracted by someone else, so I'm going to go ahead and turn around this corner to put a shot in. AWOW is also hitting him from a different angle. There's really not much he can do. He's got two Russian mediums behind him. He's got the 12 Panzer guy coming up on one side and Artie on the other. So there's really not much he can do, especially with the damaged ammo rack and turret ring. Since he's focusing me, I'm going to try and side scrape to use that little rock for cover, but AWOW takes him out anyways. giving us 4,800 damage and 2,500 assisted. And we didn't fire too many premium rounds, so we got a nice juicy 46,000 silver. I believe, yeah, that's the ×2 experience, so 4,700 XP on that, and a class 1 badge with 3 kills. For this next battle, we're going to be on Siegfried Line North Spawn Standard Battle. On this map, it's been kind of changing from what I've noticed. Not a lot of people go to the field anymore, which is what I'm kind of used to for tanks like this. So what I have started doing is going to this bunker on the left side of the screen. I'm going to head up there just to see what the team does. That way I can cover that 6 line in town. I can cover field if anybody pushes that way. And with the relatively decent camera rating, I should be able to stay undetected. Should a light tank or a fast medium push that field side. So I'm going to stay here for a second. Just real shortly, I noticed that the medium is on the EF line and did not spot anyone over on like the 2-3 area. So I figure no one's over there. This turns out to be a bit of a mistake. Fortunately, I don't take too much damage because of it. There's going to be an Action 10 right here who spots me, and then I spot the Patton as well. That Patton is what really threw me off. If it was just the Action 10, I can use this ridge I'm on to stay hold down and then use my turret armor to bounce his shots. But I quickly try and turn around, get out of there. I take one from the Patton and narrowly miss damage from the Arty. And then I go to this bunker right here just in case I'm being chased. It doesn't look like I am, so I'm going to go ahead and just fall back a little bit more. Right about this time, I see that that light tank, the Tusk, is going out there. The Waffle is also waiting for someone to shoot at, so I'm going to go support that side. I'm assuming that it's just the Arty, the 2 mediums, and that's it over here. So I'm going to follow this light tank just a few hundred meters behind him, let him spot for me. Since my camera rating drops a lot when I fire, waiting for a shot on the Action 10, but he goes away, so I continue on my way as far away as I can get without going outside the viewing should I need to spot for myself. So I'm going to use this bush right here, something not a lot of people use, and I'm waiting for shots in town. That E5 pulls forward a little bit, pop one into the side of his turret, and then he backs up before I can get the reload in. Keep an eye on the map. I see the light tank is pushing up some more, so I continue following him down the way, checking for shots as I go. It looks like he spots up the Patton, so I'm going to rush over there, try and get some shots in there. I don't want to go past this EF ridge just yet. Should there be any extra TDs that are camoed up over in the field still. So I'm going to shoot this Action 10 blind shot, probably into the side of the hole. Maybe a tracking shot, not sure. I put one more in, go, but it misses. So then I think about pushing in for the light, but seeing how he is not really pushing up all too much, I'm going to stay here, try and support him as much as I can. Now this really showcases the long reload. I mean, you can see I'm doing about 300 damage, and it's, what, 7 seconds, if I remember right. It's 6.5 seconds almost for the reload. And here shortly that will come into play in a little bit more of an extreme situation. Right now I'm just keeping on the long range shots. 1390's coming in to take out the Tusk, so I'm going to try and do what I can to help him out. I missed my first shot since he turned just before I fired. But with the shell velocity, I can auto-lock when he's driving somewhat straight away towards me and reliably hit him. Now this is a good hold down spot for this tank. As you can see, the gun is just barely above the ridge, and I've got some bushes right there. but that Action 10 pulls away. So now I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing this whole game, looking for shots. Don't really have one there. I see this E5 is doing something a little crazy, so I'm gonna start focusing him a little bit more. I get lit right here when I put one into him. There we go. Probably from that E5. I don't think that Action 10 would have spotted me, or the Patton, because I probably would have noticed the Patton over there by now. Try and put one into this 705A. That was a very slim chance to pen, but it was still worth the risk since I do have enough ammo. So I spot the Patton. He's coming towards me. Looks like he wants to try and get in my face a little bit. So I look for a second shot in him. I know I've got probably 3 or 4 shots before he gets to me. So I'm going to use this ridge to protect myself from him. But that 705A managed to put one into the side of my hull, which I wasn't expecting. Now I see our heavy is getting rushed, so I'm going to try and help him out now. There's only so much he can do with that many hit points. I think it was like, what, 300 or so? Now I'm looking at the map, seeing where that Patton is. I do notice him coming right now. So I take out the medium and I work on this King Tiger. I can probably do 2 more shots before that Patton gets to me. Luckily I set the King Tiger on fire, and then I quickly change my attention to the Patton. He bounces off my turret. I try and track him, but only hit the underplate. I don't want him to ram me since he does weigh quite a bit more, and I try and track him again and only pen the side of his hull, putting him at just over a 1-shot for me. We both pen each other, but I finally managed to track him, allowing me to get to his side, and I can beat his reload just barely. So I put one into the hole again to get the kill. And now the Action 10 wants to do the same thing, so I luckily went over the barrel of the Patton to get the penning shot. So now it's just the circle of death right here. I side scraped off the dead Patton. That was actually a bit of an over angle, so he still would have been able to pen me, but he managed to miss his shot. And I try and go towards the bunker to miss the arty shot. I should have gone a little bit more to the left. That would have been a lot safer for me. Now earlier when I was going against the King Tiger and the other medium that was with him, I didn't have a chance to see what it was. If I had a better reload, maybe on the 140 or 430 or 62A, any other Russian medium besides this one, probably would have been able to save at least one more teammate for me, or at least save some hit points for myself. Now I'm going to go over to the enemy base. I do know that I'm being capped, but there's not much I can do with this amount of hit points, so I'm just taking my chances to see what kind of damage I can do before they cap out. I'm looking for a town since I was spotted in the southern area by their base last. Just trying to find out where the arty is, and I'm going to stay kind of close to some hard cover. I spot the waffle, aim my shot, and just barely squeeze in the pen on the top of his turret. And I push forward a little bit more to get the house in between me and him. Right before I look for a shot, I noticed the arty, and I just ran out of APCR, so I didn't account for the difference in shell velocity. Try and put another one in. Also another situation where another medium would have been able to pull that second shot off. I didn't notice that 705A until it was just a little bit too late. I thought the waffle had lit me up. But we end up with 5,600 damage, and we blocked 800. Not too much assistance since we were supporting the light tanks early on. But since we only fired 2 heat rounds, we still made a decent profit of 26,000, even though it was a loss and a second class badge on top of that. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the reload on this is its major drawback. It's something that I was not expecting. So my personal opinion is quite poor of this tank. Granted, you do have 1700 meters a second, 410 view range, and 9 degrees of gun depression. But when you have a rear mount tank and you can only get the gun depression off the sides, and the turret doesn't even fully traverse. The lack of gun depression, or I'm sorry, the lack of DPM really shows its ugly head in this vehicle. On that note, that's going to be it for me. As always, don't forget to check out Clone Guy 72 and Space Bandit on their YouTube channels. You can also check me out on my stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.